Hey everyone, today I want to do a quick video about something called Supersaturated Solutions. So when you hear this term, this is kind of crazy because here's the idea. We have two basic kinds of solutions. Unsaturated and saturated. So unsaturated, well, let's start with saturated. Saturated means the max that can dissolve is dissolved. So if you keep adding whatever you're dissolving, salt, keep adding salt, keep adding salt, when you get to the maximum amount that can possibly dissolve, that's what we call saturated. Unsaturated is anything less than the max. So what in the world is supersaturated? So supersaturated is more than the max, more than saturated. All right, so that sounds ridiculous. If that's the maximum that can, then how can you get more than the maximum? So the idea here is this is just a temporary situation. So the more than the max is just temporary. So the idea is somehow we've temporarily got a little bit more than should be able to dissolved, and ultimately it's going to recrystallize out to get back to saturated at some point. So how does that happen? Well, I mean, first off, the idea would be like if you took a spoon and got honey, eventually maybe the honey's going to run off the edge and drip back down. But temporarily, you can twist your spoon around or something, keep it on the knife or on the spoon temporarily, but eventually it's going to want to drip off the spoon. So it's like that, except how we do it here is we put in more than the max, and then we heat to get the extra, the more than, to dissolve. So you put in tons of extra heat to get the extra to dissolve, and then we cool it back down. Ooh, I'm running out of room here. I'm getting really sloppy. So we heat to get more to dissolve, and then we cool it back down. So that's what I've done actually right here, is this right in here is hopefully a supersaturated solution of sodium acetate. So what I put in here is a lot of sodium acetate. And originally it didn't dissolve. So I put it on a hot plate, got it really, really hot, and then it eventually dissolved. Since then, I put it in an ice water bath to cool it back down, and now it's a little bit warm. I'm not actually 100% sure how this is going to work, but hopefully it's cool enough that when I drop in a crystal, it'll start to recrystallize. So you can see what supersaturated works like. Okay, so hopefully when I grab a crystal right now, hopefully this is in a temporary state right now where more is dissolved than normally should be able to dissolve. And when I drop this crystal in, you'll see it leave that temporary state and go back to saturated. So let's try it. Not happening so far. Still it's dissolving. All right, so it's not working. So what that means is that I just haven't cooled it down enough. So I'm going to try to cool it down actually by adding some ice directly to it. going to swirl the ice in. And hopefully that cools it down to make it super saturated and I can get it to start forming crystals. And actually, just right away as I did that, as I cooled it down, you can actually see crystals start to form really slowly there. So you can start to see the crystals growing, little shards. In this case, they're very nice shards. I'll see if I can add some more seeds. There you go, and there's the crystal formation. So as it cooled down, it became super saturated, more saturated than it would want to be at that given temperature. And you can see the crystal growth, the crystals growing.